Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for you. I'm happy and grateful for the opportunity always to look at me, to right my wrongs, to really see and understand what it is that I need to see and understand about Nicole D. Jones so that I can learn how to be me unapologetically through a posture of submission and humility. I'm happy and grateful for you. I'm happy and grateful that you are keeping me accountable as well as me keeping you accountable, and that we are walking in understanding that we are not general people, but we are of value, that our time is of value, that our space is of value, that we're healthy, that we're wealthy, and that we're prosperous in everything that our hands go to touch. It must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow, whatever it touches. I'm happy and grateful today. So I said that we were going to stay on the three things that your mind needs, and we're going to do that, okay? So what we understand, because these are laws, and I keep telling you guys, as much as we want to avoid it or act like it doesn't exist, there are laws. There are laws of the universe, okay? Believer, non-believer, it does not change the fact that there are laws, and there's laws of the mind. So we talked about that there are three things that your mind needs. The first thing that your mind needs is a focus. It needs something to focus on. It needs the goal, okay? If y'all didn't get it, make sure you go to my webpage, IamNicoleDJones.com, and click on Nikki Nuggets, and it'll be there, right? But you need a goal. So your mind needs something to focus on. It needs a goal. What we also understand about in that goal is you need a picture. So that's your future, all right? You got to remember that. The picture in your mind controls your behavior. You will always act like the person that you think you are. This is a recap of Monday, okay? So you have to remember, the first thing that your mind always needs is a goal. It needs a vision. It needs a plan, okay? Because your conscious mind is always going to remind you of the things that you do wrong, okay? That it can remind you of the things you do right, but it's definitely going to remind you of the things that you do wrong, all right? But your subconscious mind, all right, the heart of us, where we are, our destiny, our vision, our goals, it lives there, okay? And through our desires, we increase our belief in the goal that we set, because we understand that the goal comes from who we are. It comes from inside of us. Your gifts, your talents, your passions, all of those things is the true you, okay? So your mind needs a goal. The second thing that it needs that we're going to talk about today is your mind needs an instruction, okay? Your mind needs an instruction. Speak to your mind to harness your thinking. Your mind does not filter the information it acquires. Your mind is literally an emotional magnet searching for information to verify your opinion or to escape present pain. Ooh, y'all grab that? Your mind is literally an emotional magnet searching for information to verify your opinion or to escape present pain. All right? So the second thing you need to tell your mind what to do. This is why it's so important for you to be careful of the conversations that you have. This is why it's so important to know your circle, know your access, who has access to you, who is speaking into your life, and what are they speaking? Because your mind it's a magnet. It's an emotional magnet searching for information to verify your opinion or to escape present pain. So your mind's always looking for something, all right? So when you're going through something, what's the first thing you do? If you're going through something, you pick up the phone and you call someone, okay? So you have to, this all goes back to what we talked about before. You can only control you. So when you're going through something, who is your first person that you're calling? And what is their character? What are the prerequisites of them? What are the first three things that you think of to describe the first person you call? I want you to think about that. Because have you noticed, depending on what you're going through, determines your first call? Most of the time, we want to, especially if we're doing something we ain't got no business, all right? You want to satisfy your flesh, you're going to call your homegirl or your homeboy or whoever who's going to be like, yeah, they're going to agree with you. You're going to call the yesums, okay? The ones that whatever you're doing, good, bad, or indifferent, most of the time when you're doing something wrong, they're not going to be the ones to just be like, hey, hold on. Should you really be doing that? What are you thinking about? Okay? Depending on what it is you're trying to do. But you have to understand that the reason behind this is because your mind always needs instructions. So for everything that happens, it's looking for something. It's looking for the way of what to do. What happens is we have to know, this is why it's so important. You got to know your three. You got to know the people that are placed in your life in this season. All right? The ones who will give you constructive criticism, the ones that'll give you the tough love, the ones that will be honest with you because their heart and their goal and their intention is for you to be the best you. Okay? You have to know this because your mind is literally an emotional magnet searching for information to verify your opinion or escape present pain. Okay? So if you mad and you want to be the victim, you're going to call someone who's going to stroke that. 9 times out of 10, if you want a victim role, I am not the first person you're going to call. I already know this. Because anyone who calls me, no. I might give you about 3 minutes and then I'll be like, hold on. But what did you do? But they did me wrong. She cussed me out. Okay, but what did you say to her? Did you provoke her? See, I got to get the foundational stuff. Because your mind is an emotional magnet, you have to want, while you want to be the best you, while you want to fulfill your goals, while you want to fulfill your vision, you got to be willing to have that person in your three that's willing to first stop. Get the foundational. Let's get all the pieces first before we go out and jump on a bandwagon. You got to know your ride or die. See, your ride or die is not the one who's going to help you down a road of destruction. Your ride or die is the one who's willing to see you at your lowest, tell you, but then be willing to help you get up, dust you off, and get you back pretty so nobody else know where you are. Okay? Remember that. All right? Your mind is always on the prowl for knowledge, but it requires instruction. Okay? It's always. So now, the first thing you know your mind needs is a goal. We need a target. Okay? So we set our goal. My goal. I'm happy and grateful now that by December 31st, 2021, that I am worth $100,000 in liquidity. I am worth $100,000, and that $100,000 does not have to be touched on my bills, on my necessity, on my everyday, none of that. That's what liquidity is, all right? Over here, chilling. To be used however I want it to be used, and it does not affect my day-to-day, all right? So that's my number one thing for my mind. It needed a goal. I have a goal. Now the second thing is it needs instruction, okay? So in order for me to fulfill the goal, I'm going to talk to my financial advisor, even though I don't like what she has to say. Okay? Because I know that my mind is looking for instruction. See, I can't call the one whose love language is spending or non-saver, because I'm an emotional spender. So when I'm in this space and I want to go and see, I don't necessarily go shopping, like, clothes shopping and all of that. But at the end of the day, we all spend money some kind of way. So I can't call someone who loves to spend and shop while I'm trying to do this when I get an emotional state. I got to call the financial advisor because my homie may be like, oh, girl, come on, let's go. And see, I like electronics. They may walk me into the Apple store, not because they want to see me destroyed or defeated, but because they want to see me happy. And they know that Apple is my thing. Electronics is my thing. So even though I have all these Apple products, I'll go buy another one just to make my flesh feel good. All right? My mind's always looking for instruction. But the reality is, that's not what I need. That's not what I need to set a goal. You have to understand that your mind, it has an emotional magnet where it's always looking for instruction. Okay? So where we choose to land that desire and that feeling does not mean that we are right. All right? We're being unapologetically us. So we got to own it. We got to understand it. Like, our mind is made that way. So it just is what it is. But we decide on who we call. We decide on where we go. We decide on who we allow to feed us in that space and that place. Okay? What does your mind need? It always needs instruction. All right? But here's the awesome thing about our mind. It's on the prowl for knowledge. Let's look up this word. Let me look up knowledge. Knowledge defined. Knowledge is facts, information, and skills acquired by a person through experience or education. The theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. It's awareness or familiarity gained by experience of a fact or situation. All right? So it's facts. It's information and skills acquired by a person through experience or education. So here's the deal. See, because there are key words in that. Your mind is on the prowl for knowledge. So make sure who you are allowing to feed you and speak into you has knowledge. That's facts or information and skills acquired by a person through experience or education. What do I mean? Now, your mind is always on the prowl for knowledge. So you got to make sure the person that is kicking you knowledge has acquired the skill through experience or education. I can't talk to someone about being a billionaire and the sacrifices, skill set, mindset, all of these things that they had to obtain and be consistent in. I can't speak to someone who does not have that. And that's where I'm trying to go. Okay? If I'm trying to reach $100,000 in liquidity, I can't go ask the person who's only reached 30,000 how to get to 100,000. Does that make sense? Because your mind is always wanting to acquire knowledge. So what am I doing? Because see, I don't know anyone personally that is a billionaire as of yet. So in the process, my mentorship comes through books. Okay? I read the Napoleon Hills. I read the David Imonites. I read, see, David Imonite, he's tangible to me. He is very real to me, all right? But he's weathered the storm. He's gone through a decade to get where he's at. So what do? I humbly honor him, and I take what he says and I apply it, not trying to switch things up because I've never been there. I take what he says and I'm applying it. And through my journey, I'm able to journal my process so that when I give it to someone else, they're able to apply it, and then they can journal their process. And every process will be a little different, but the foundation of it has to remain the same. I told you I ain't trying to reinvent no wheels. I'm not wise enough to do that. Well, I ain't gonna say that because I'm as wise as I need to be for me, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But that's not my passion. I don't want to rewrite something. Why am I going to do that when there are already people here that I can learn from? Okay. So you got to know that your mind is on the prowl for knowledge, and you have to understand what knowledge is and what that looks like and where it comes from. Okay. No disrespect to Mookie and Pookie. Okay. But if Mookie and Pookie ain't been where I'm trying to go, I can't hold everything that they say. They have things to say of value, but the instruction, the direction, the step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the complete walkthrough, they can't give me. Okay? Please understand what I'm saying, because I'm not saying to dismiss people and what they say. Because see, if you are in a posture where you understand that your circle is solid and you understand that the people around you are in there for a purpose and a reason in that season, you don't have to sift through. You understand that everything, every conversation, we should chew it. It's like bubble gum. That's what Pastor Joanne says, that Pastor Nahum says. It's like bubble gum. You chew it, you enjoy the flavor, you swallow the spit, but you got to spit the gum out, okay? You don't swallow the gum. The gum ain't good for you. So you have to be able to know. This is why you need to keep your access small. You have to be able, the ones who are speaking into your life, you got to know why they're in this place for you, because your mind is looking for knowledge, okay? Your mind is always looking for knowledge. It's always looking to grow. And you got to remember, what comes in is what we become, okay? You can't have someone with a poverty mentality teach you how to trade. Okay, I said it. 10% is skill. 90% of all that we do is spiritual and personal growth. So they can only get you so far. They can only get you 10% of the way. See, because we're looking for knowledge, because our mind is always looking for knowledge, yeah, you kick it with your homies and y'all dialogue, and y'all can be the encouragement to one another to keep the momentum going. But you got to have a mentor, okay? You have to, even in setting your goals, you have to have that mentor, all right? I'm actually going to go to, excuse me, I don't know how that call went through. It's on Do Not Disturb. Let me make sure it's on Do Not Disturb. It is. I don't know why that went through. I don't know. But I'm going to give you number 3 too, because it goes in together. Because your mind needs a hero. It needs a champion. It needs something that excites you. You need an example, all right? You need an example. Your hero decides your energy, endurance, and experiences. So you have to find one, all right? Whatever your goal is and whatever your vision is, your mind needs a hero. You need someone to look up to, okay? You need it, because you got to remember, your mind needs a goal. Your mind needs instructions. Your mind needs a hero. Okay? Your mind needs that. David Imonitie is a hero for me. Riyad Jones is a hero for me. Dr. Miles Monroe is a hero for me. Pastor Joanne Rosario Condry is a hero for me. My mom is a hero for me. My sister is a hero for me. Okay? Heroes, ones that you look up to, ones that you can see a piece of your vision from. And heroes don't have to be, don't limit them for yourself. Dr. Miles Monroe is no longer living, but he's still a hero for me. All right? He has done something that I desire to do. He has the knowledge that he can give me. So I read his books. Okay? David Imonitie is a hero for me. Riyad Jones is a hero for me. He is a hero that is tangible to me. David is a hero that is tangible to me. My sister, my mother. See, you have these heroes so that when you feel discouraged, you already know someone who's been there, done that, and you know that it can happen for you. Okay? And then you have them where they need to be. Keep in mind, heroes decide your energy, endurance, and experiences. Okay? So when you can see this person, let me tell you why it's good to have heroes too. And for me, I have heroes on every level. Now, I don't know about everybody else. I didn't read that in the book. Okay? Again, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm sharing knowledge that I have, and then I'm sharing my walk and my part in how it works for me. So I have heroes on every level. And the reason I do that, because you got to remember that your mind is the garden. Okay? I keep telling y'all, your mind is the garden. It's our Garden of Eden. We understand that in the Garden of Eden is where the apple got bit. It's where sin came in. All this happens in the garden. The reason I have different levels of heroes is because that's what helps me stay humble. See, if all my heroes are way out there, if all my heroes is the Napoleon Hills of the world and the Catherine Kuhlmans of the world and the Dr. Miles Monroes of the world, then I may, because we're all human, I may find myself thinking I'm better than whoever's around me. And that's not true. That's never true. Okay? Never true. I'm learning to be unapologetically me through a posture of submission, learning whose I am, who I belong to, who my DNA, where the origin of my DNA is. And doing that, it produces humility. All right? That's knowing who I am individually. And in that humility, I'll never look to the left and the right and put my nose up to anyone, because we're all walking this thing out together. So for me, I have heroes on all levels. I have heroes that will touch every part of my mindset. So when I'm in that conscious mind, I'll never get to a place where I think I'm bigger and better, because I understand that I'm not. Okay? I understand that my whole purpose on this journey is to serve. That is my whole purpose. All right? And I intend to keep the servant, continue to keep the heart of a servant. Okay? So, again, you got to know that for the law of the mind, there are 3 things that your mind needs. Okay? Remember that your mind always needs a focus. It needs that goal. All right? Remember that your mind always needs an instruction, that it is an emotional magnet, always searching for information and it's always on the prowl for knowledge. Okay? So remember that in that, the instructions that you're feeding your mind is facts, information, and skills acquired by a person through experience or education. All right? Knowledge. It's always on the prowl for knowledge, okay? And your mind needs a hero. You need mentors. You need mentorship in everything that you do. So you have a goal. You feed your mind with wisdom and knowledge. And then you have a mentor, a person that you can look up to that has been where you are destined to go. Okay? That's the law of the mind. When we get these laws down, we'll begin to understand that who we are, the magnet in us, will draw, it will attract. It's already attracting these things, okay? That's why when you look at your circle and people that you have access to, you'll realize that you have it on so many different levels, okay? That's because your hero is always above you. Your disciples are always with you. And the ones looking up to you are always the ones that you're pulling up, okay? You have to know that. You always have your 3, you always have your 12, and you always have the 72 that's sent out 2 by 2. See, when we understand this and we understand that this is individually and tailor-made for each of us, that's what keeps us in a posture of humility. That's what we can look to the left and look to the right, and we're not hating on one another because we understand whose we are and we understand who we are. Okay, so it is 10:28. I want you to continue to stay humble, to stay focused, to stay positive. All right, knowing that you are healthy, knowing that you are wealthy, knowing that you are prosperous, knowing that these laws of the mind are 1, 2, and 3. All right. Vision, instruction, mentorship. All right. It's that simple. And because you are of value, because you are understanding who you are and whose you are, you will walk this out in submission and humility. All right. So I am Nicole D. Jones. It is our Warriors Wednesday, and we are warriors that continue to stay victorious, okay? I want you to continue to have a fantabulous day. Smooches.